Drop set of clean pulls. I didn't feel like doing yesterday, and it kind of gave me something extra to do today. Because today was going to be essentially nothing because I did everything I needed to yesterday for the most part. But do some overhead press, but some ideas about doing some behind the neck snatch grip press, progressing up in some weight, and then switching to regular, just in front of the head and all that overhead press for I don't know what. I mean, it could be for volume. That's the nice thing with shoulders. You can kind of just do whatever with them because they recover pretty quick. But we got 70 kilos on the bar. So I'm going to pull that real quick. But do 170 for a 3x3. Don't need straps or anything yet. Walked for about 30 minutes today. I'll probably have to go on another one just to do general movement, but been pretty good about doing a lot of, or just, you know, a good amount of mobility stuff as well. Um, when I finished training yesterday, I did a lot of bodybuilding, or like upper body. So I did like these, they're like modified face pulls. So I went at different heights essentially, and did some lower and some higher, and then some tricep extensions, and actually some machine chest press. There's like a machine chest press thing. So I did that for a bunch. Not really for any particular reason, but just because I was doing upper body. So did a good amount, but today I guess it's always triceps when I'm pressing, but a little bit of shoulders as well. A lot of bugs out. I guess that happens when it's warm and kind of muggy. But it feels perfect out though. So I will take it. Not too bad. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, so 150 now. No, just me. Alright, 150. Then we get to 170 for our working for 3 easy triples. Alright, 170 for the triples now. Yeah, it's really that grim at just 175, so I can just throw the clip on. Easter fireworks. Gunfire. Alright. Two more of those. Opening a Greek yogurt container of all things and cut the top of my finger, which was really weird. Am I from Ohio? I don't know. From somewhere in Ohio, maybe. Maybe Arkansas. I don't know what you're saying. But Lance. Alright. Second triple. You don't need a belt if you don't want to wear one. I'd wear a belt if I want to lift more weight, but I don't need it for a lighter weight like this. Alright, triple. 170 kilos. 375, or it's 175 kilos, so 386 in pounds. In freedom units. So not too heavy. Turkey. I was doing clean pulls. Now I'm going to be doing behind the neck presses with a snatch grip. I don't really get the comments that say blank set high with the camera thing. I'm assuming that's just a bot or like a generic comment that people can type. We're gonna add weight, Mo. I meant to go to only 30, but we go to this. Nah. Justine. Just a couple sets there. You don't eat a lot, Mark. It's math. If you're not gaining weight, you just have to eat more. If you think you just have to measure what you eat, it's really not complicated. Um, like making the excuse that you have a high metabolism is all it is. You're just not counting how much you eat. So count your calories. If you're maintaining your weight, then count your calories. Figure out how many calories about what you eat on a regular basis, and then do more. But yeah, saying you metabolize fast is coping. You just don't aren't trying hard enough. Eating is the easiest thing. So just try harder. And if you aren't consistent, then you'll lose weight because it's just math. You have to consistently eat a lot. Eating enough to gain weight is a lot easier than lifting and adding strength, but they go hand in hand. All right. I'll do some regular pressing. No problem, Mark. Just track what you eat and eat more. It's really, it's just a equation. So enough of the snatch grip, not as regular. It's always like light sessions that I do. I get the most engagement, which is hilarious. I guess because it's a holiday. Easy light set. Not really worried about pressing a lot of weight, but probably one more set of 15. Like that, and then that'll be it. Really feeling the humidity. that's true secret is chalk. Any kind of chalk, eating as much as you can. I mean, to be honest, like if you did eat a lot of chalk, you probably would gain weight because you would be so constipated. So I mean, what kind of weight are we trying to add? Healthy weight or diseased weight? You'll gain weight and you won't lose it ever. Enough, unless you eat enough chalk, it'll stop. I actually don't know. I would imagine that it would probably plug you up or make you go the other way. I don't know. Oh, do one more set of 15 just to get some light work in and we move around. Now the real question, Slam Bar, since you're here, I already went on one walk. Do you guys want to go on another walk? This time during the live. I've never done a live during a walk, but I'm gonna do one more set of 15. So if you would so choose, Slam Bar, then I'll take you guys for another walk. But it's weird, it's because it's weight's so light, I had to, you're not just thinking about pushing the weight as fast as you can. Try to really think about on my left side, so my shoulder as I'm up, making sure that it's not like doing this necessarily, but it's locked in, like my scap and everything is in the same position on both sides, just to make sure everything is symmetrical, because I feel like sometimes my left shoulder will roll forward and unlock, and that's one of the reasons it drifts forward. So one thing that you can work on with light weights is just the kind of your biomechanics and just how your body's moving, because it's just 88 pounds, so it's not that heavy even if I'm doing it for a lot of reps, but you can still try to move it correctly, or at least feel your muscles moving, joints correctly, and get a pump. Look at that. All right. Make sure my band-aids fall. I cut my finger on a Greek yogurt container, and it was like a paper cut, but like it went deep, so it's just been, it was bleeding a lot, but when you have a cut on your finger and you try to do pulls or any sort of, really any exercise, when you're squeezing a bar, it makes it bleed. So I wanted to prevent that. Shoulders are pumped out of their mind. Everything is well, Benjamin. All right. I'll probably just leave my stuff out here and then get it later tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow or lift out here. Because now, it really hasn't been for a while, but it's that big majority of the year where I can basically always lift to the house and it not be too cold or miserable out here. But conversely, if it gets really humid, whatever temperature or humidity is outside is also in here. So like today I'm kind of feeling it. I don't know if it truly is humid, but I didn't really do enough do enough to really like be winded like I am. I mean, three sets of 3 pulls and overhead pressing. Maybe it's the thick sweatpants I have on. Who knows? But all right, get you guys ready for a walk. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna get my smartwatch back on. Not that I don't even wear it every day to track my steps, but if I wear it I wear it for school most of the time so I can change music and pause stuff on it. Get text a little easier on it, but if I'm not working, I usually don't have it on unless I'm like today, just trying to get steps for fun. So let me grab that and we'll talk about how many steps I need or want. All right, boys. Drink a little bit of orange juice. Let's see what the battery's at. Can I see it? 56? That's not too bad. Not bad. I don't need... My routine's all messed up, so I'm doing all records. There we go. All right. So, we gotta get back in the house and grab the keys. I don't lock myself out. Curious what the shed looks like from the other side. Whoop. That's where all my stuff is, back there. And then you can see the shelf. Look carefully. There we go. That little clear container is where I set my regular camera. Then on the top is where I put my phone when I'm live streaming. All right. Let's figure out where I'm going. All right. Changed my shirt as well, so I'm not sweating through mine. Oh, it was like a total bum. Now, I want sunflower seeds as well. All right. Yeah, it's all concrete underneath. It's a really nice shed. It's like built into the side of the hill. I'm gonna put you guys in the fridge. Honestly, probably a good thing. Let you guys cool off a little bit. We got the sunflower seeds in. But yeah, I have a regular. I might take this with me. He has lots of spit sunflower seeds. I meant to bring him with my walk earlier, but I forgot. I look like a chipmunk. If you ever wondered if I actually play baseball or not, you'll be able to tell by my ability to put sunflower seeds in my mouth and spit them all out. Alright, I set you guys down again. Grab my watch. It's a diabolical angle. Alright, what steps are we at? Watch it starting back up. I had to update or something. I look like an idiot. Alright, my watch is not starting. You guys gotta watch the ceiling for a second. There we go. Alright. We are at 4,000, if it will focus, 4,183. I don't wear it while I train because it would just get in the way, but not too many more steps from training today. I would imagine I should probably get a decent amount just from when I work out. But, alright, we out. Gotta lock up the castle. Alright. What's up, Daniel? We're going for a walk. I got sunflower seeds too. Not tobacco. But now, when I do this, is it better to probably look forward or look at my fat face? Let's look forward. I just did some light pulls and some overhead press. Get the base going. So perfect outside. Yeah, but tomorrow do some no foot and power clean push press, and we'll see. I've listened to a Suicide Boys song, which I wasn't like opposed to, but a lot of that kind of like SoundCloud type rap isn't my jam. I do like Freddie Dredd. I was up to like 238, so I'm feeling pretty thick as well. I don't have any opinion of Tupac. I've never listened to any of that rap. I'm not against it or anything. I never grew up listening to that. I honestly couldn't even tell you a Tupac song. I'm sure I'd know if I heard it, but nothing on my playlist. Yeah, I mean, the big difference on the weekends for me is my lunch is usually bigger. Less timing. The Tupac question is very random, though. I don't know if I've ever been asked about that. My weight's kind of chill where I have it right now. I'm not too worried about like getting above 240. I think the weight class, at least when I signed up, was still 109. I don't know if they've changed officially for like local meets, but I'm trying to get any fatter. Yeah, if you can balance the volume, you can definitely rev it. But sorry, I saw old student. Mute my. I muted myself, but no, he's probably what, fourth? I think he's fourth grade now. But actually, I think the other gym teacher had him, but we talked a lot, as I always, his brother, and solid car riders a lot. What's up, Reed? Yeah, but if you had any, that's how close I lived to my old school that I worked at. But Reed, I had it muted to be respectful, but I saw two students I used to have. They were hanging out in my neighborhood. We're going for a walk though. I already trained. I guess I should explain that first, but I usually don't mute myself when I'm live. But yeah, I mean, he's the kind of kid that you want to have in PE, but probably not in the gen ed as much. Kind of a. It is very nice out. There's a lot of people out for Easter. Not really like just out on like their porches and stuff. But I forget. I remember the boy's name. I forget what his sister's name is, but remember the older brother. He's a middle school now, but that's how close I live. Just stone's throw away. If there were sidewalks all the way to my school, old school, I probably could have walked there, but there's not. And the road going there is a super big hill. Not that I'd want to walk down any road without a sidewalk anyway, but certainly not safe. But I don't know. I don't have a specific distance. I actually went on a walk earlier since I did most of my training today or yesterday. It's loud. But am I American? No, I'm not. I'm Lithuanian. This is actually the Balkans that I'm walking in. But try to be a little kind of weird walking in public and recording, but trying to not just be weird about it. my phone's saying I'm walking now. All right, we stay out of the big streets. Doing Vulcan man things. Yeah, our grass grows crazy, especially in my yard. My backyard's already starting to fill in. It was like pure mud with just the ground from groundhogs and just in general. But yeah, front yard. I can mow it again today. The first time I mowed, it was really long, so I had to raise up the mower a little bit. But the second time, I was able to get it down a bit. Actually, my neighbor was actually mowing when I left. But what's up, Code? Yeah, we're getting, I mean, once we had, so I don't know if you heard about all like the crazy rains that Cincinnati had. If you look up pictures, you'll see like the stadium and stuff. And I didn't experience that flooding, so I'm not that quite close to the river. I'm probably 25 minutes from downtown without traffic, so a good distance away. A development, or like townhomes. I didn't know these were here. Oh, nice. I'll walk here and see. I have no idea. Whatever grass grows in the hood. We got tough grass. These are cool. There's little townhomes. I did not know this place existed. Flip it. It's like it doesn't fit in my neighborhood in the sense that everywhere else are just like little houses. Hood grass. I just did the drop set of pulls that I didn't want to do yesterday, and some really light presses. This is like a dog park, a little area for dogs. This is a really nice. Did not know this area existed. What's this gate say? It looks like it's a little grass area. I'll show you guys. It's like a little fenced in area for the townhome residents, and They're dogs. It must be pretty new. This fire hydrant doesn't even have like a plug on it, or the plug's off of it. Well, yeah, but like there are like townhomes or townhouses. It must be new though. I didn't know this was here. And I would notice, but I guess it's pretty hidden. They're pretty cool though. I'm not opposed to any kind of housing. Especially housing that looks nice. But these probably have like HOAs and stuff. Little river down there, or creek, little creek, little creek down there. But yeah, I mean, with the way housing is now, people will occupy a tent if it was priced low enough. I was just looking, my neighbor has, I think I'll just say I think the house is going to become available in some way, whether it's for sale or foreclosure. But it got me to look around my neighborhood again on Zulu, which is a very fun thing to do. And don't film my creek. That's where Slime Bar lives. He eats all his chalk. But I did not know this neighborhood. There's like a whole neighborhood. And this is like connected to mine. It's really nice. But I was looking at houses in my neighborhood and they're still worth a ton still. Oh, I recognize. I think we'll walk back down that area. I'm gonna finish this loop and then go back. This is actually this is a really interesting walk for me. I guess I should walk in the daytime more often. I usually just go at night. And so I don't usually deviate from normal pathways at night, just so I don't trip on stuff. It's mostly not even for like I'm worried about other people. I'm worried I'm gonna trip on a piece of the sidewalk. I'm not. Oh wow. So I know this neighborhood now. I didn't know it connected to mine. No, I don't have any of that. To be honest, I'm not even against that kind of thing, but I more don't want that sort of thing to be available to myself. But also, part of me is like, I don't ever want to have to use it in any context. But yeah, this takes me out to a main road. Huh. So that one definitely does connect back on that side to a different part of the neighborhood. I think I'll just continue walking out this way. But no, thankfully also, I would categorize it as a lower middle class neighborhood. You see the main street. But I wouldn't say it's bad at all. I mean, as you saw from that neighborhood there, it's connected to mine. So I mean, it's a nice townhome development. But it's not too, actually really nice. Oh, but I guess it does connect into the neighborhood. There's another rabbit. Maybe I can find it. There we go. Rabbit sighting. There's another guy. That's pretty. There's one in my backyard all the time. I'm just on the sidewalk, so hopefully nobody's leaving dog poop on the sidewalk. But yeah, we're slowly getting back. No, what was I saying? Oh, it's like a lower middle class neighborhood, but it's a lot of homes. There are a couple of like little apartment buildings, but there's not a ton. You could get to areas that aren't as nice. Like if I walked, I'll show you a bad apartment complex. So not even necessarily, so I say bad, but like it's probably not even that bad. There's just, you read news about something that happens there, but it's usually like it's an incident, like a one-off incident. It's not like, gang activity or stuff like that. Helps that I'm 5'11" and like almost 240. I don't I don't look like someone that most people probably want to trifle with. Plus, like, when I'm out here, I just have my phone, my keys, I guess my headphones, but I don't carry valuable stuff with me, just in case. But, I suppose, I know a lot of people that I go with at the gym, and probably actually my dad would probably agree that it would be good to carry while I'm walking around. But, well, you don't mess with people. You don't got a reason to mess with you. It's always been kind of my philosophy. People got their own problems, but thankfully, I did have one crazy thing happen. It's actually before COVID, so probably like 2019. It's pretty close to it, 2018 or 2019. There was a guy screaming outside that he was dying or someone was bleeding or something, and I, like an idiot, opened my front door, and he tried to like push his way in. But at that time, I lived with another guy who was, I guess the easiest way to describe him, he's built like a middle linebacker. He's probably one of the most athletic and strong people I've ever known in real life or the internet. No, they're not. They're there. But he was there, and I know that he had he had wet firearms. And then my oldest roommate that just moved out with his wife, he was there with his then, I guess it was his girlfriend at that point, but him and her were there, and his big dog. So thankfully, I just pushed the door closed, but that was pretty scary when that happened. And it just shows, don't be, well, and I have a feeling that when you have the type of substances that person probably had in them, that it would have took a lot of force to stop them. Closing the door is probably the easiest thing to do. For the simple fact that you get a lot of extra energy when you're on the crazy hypers that he was probably on. But I remember when that happened too, I think he had probably been banging on other people's doors or stuff, because there's a lot of people out in my neighborhood, which isn't really that typical. But in general, like, I think like the worst thing, I don't know, like, neighborhood's not the nicest place. It's not where I want to live my whole life, but I don't have money to move anywhere else. And if I truly was like if it was an emergency, like I had to leave, I could do it, but better for me to save. Always better to save. We're gonna give mute for a second. We're back. Try not to record other people. There's a large gathering of big parties. I've never gone for a walk on Easter, I don't think. Not in my neighborhood. I guess, actually, I'm usually with my parents up north, so I actually don't think I've actually ever gone for, like, been at my house on Easter. But this year we had to delay it a week. So my one niece has pneumonia, and my dad has recently got a knee surgery, knee replacement maybe. He had a bum knee, but his antibiotics was he had a bad reaction to it, and they're not really sure what, but basically had a bunch of hives and stuff, had to stay in the hospital because he has rheumatoid arthritis, so doesn't bode well for him with that stuff sometimes. But Florida's a lot different, although there's a lot of people that lived in Ohio that moved to Florida, so I think Ohio and Florida people are more similar than different, because everyone that gets old moves out. It's kind of neat too, seeing what houses are for sale and stuff. I know that street. Yeah. It's interesting seeing what's yeah. I mean, my buddy in college, my roommate, when we tried to start a gym in Florida, because he lived in Florida. I never did, but him and his wife did. He went to Florida for his wedding, but he lives in Colorado now. But yeah, a lot of people move to Florida. Understandably, I mean, you go there for the weather, and cost-wise, if you're going to move somewhere for the weather, comparing that to like California, it's a lot cheaper and generally easier. But I suppose people could move to places like Arizona and New Mexico or Texas, but up here, you don't really hear too much. Florida, I guess, is pretty common, and then like the Carolinas, those are pretty common too. But my grandpa still lives down there. Lived with my grandma there for years. They would be snowbirds and fly up in the summers to Ohio and fly back down, but the later years they just stayed. All right. Whoop. A very multicultural neighborhood too. And past I'm not in West Virginia, but I passed a black gathering, and then another 100 yards I passed a Spanish gathering at the United Nations. But I also think with my kind of neighborhood, there's a lot of opportunities to buy houses, potentially, to make them into rental houses, kind of a good size. They're all like 3 bedrooms, one bath. They're still too expensive, but what isn't? There's a house with Bible stuff on it. A little bit of everything. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Alright. We're across the road here. Make sure I don't get slammed. The I do play a single player game, a baseball, a very nerdy baseball one. It is called. I played it on Out of the Park Baseball, and I find it's kind of like it's a good time waster in a sense, but you're not like actively engaged in it, I guess is a good way to describe it. It's, I mean, you're just running like a franchise, so you're not like actively playing the games. You're just trying to like, build the teams. But that one's the one I've been playing, chess. But I've been playing less and less of chess. Miguel, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. Feliz Easter. Dia de los Easter. They're going hard. Alright. Back on mute. Yeah. How far did I even walk? Oh no. The GPS didn't connect to my phone. It's weird. I've only walked 700 steps according to my watch, although I don't know if it's updated or not. I'll see if I can get it to update. Oh, there it is. 3,000 steps. It was tracking. I just had to accidentally exit out of the exercise thing. So that means I'm up to like 30 or 7,200. Good amount. Especially on an off day. I usually don't get more than a couple thousand on non-school days. But a lot today. Aside from the baseball thing, I haven't. I used to play a game called Smite, but that game died, unfortunately, and I lost interest in it. But it also kind of died. That's kind of like a League of Legends type game. But as far as like games that you'd have outside of that, like an adventure game or something, not really. Honestly, never really was into them that much. Even when I was a kid, I was always, I kind of grew up in the Call of Duty era where it was really big. So I always liked the competitive thing. We're just playing with other people online. But that's why I like Smite too. You play with your friend and you just talk in Discord while you play. But trying to think. It's a creepy skull thing. What is that? It's like a Halloween decoration. That's pretty funny. A little late for Halloween or early. It's like quite equidistant from both ends of it. But no, I'm bad about, I would say bad. I just don't really have like the drive to find new games to play. Families came from church. They're all in white dresses and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever played one. Like, I didn't even play Halo. Like, I played it, but I didn't try to play the campaign. I never even really liked Halo, to be honest. I was more of a Call of Duty man. But I don't know. I feel like there might have been one, but not really. I guess I was kind of weird like that. Like, I didn't play games like Assassin's Creed or anything like that. I never had the desire to play them. And what's interesting too is I've watched people play through games like that, but I've never had a desire to play it myself. Yeah, Bale. I know what you're talking about. Alright. I think we just keep walking. Those things, I don't got anything else to do other than edit the video from yesterday and today's training and make food. So we just keep balling. Keep balling. Squirrel. Yeah, low impact cardio, but it's so beautiful. it's nice to enjoy the weather. I can sit on my porch or, mow the grass again or something, but it's kind of cool to see that development. Because I didn't realize it connected to my neighborhood. Maybe we can find our way over there again. But I guess I saw the extent of it. Isn't that like large, but yeah. Oh, it's cool. Like, there's a lot of problems with sidewalks in a lot of areas, with there not being. Okay, I have to do this. I am so curious. So when people get kicked out of their house or it's foreclosed, there's always the signs on the door. I've never read them though, so I'm gonna read it. So it's just about grass, garbage. Huh. Okay. So that wasn't like I'm sure the house is abandoned because there's two of the signs the same. But it's like if you don't, it's like from the county, if you don't mow, or you have a car that's sitting, I guess, for 14 days that's inoperable and it was trash. Which kind of makes sense. That's why my neighbor was working so hard to get his one car to start. I guess that's what the sign was. I thought maybe it was for being foreclosed or something, but it might just be for one of his cars that aren't working. Played baseball my whole life. I haven't been pooped on by a bird yet, so I'll take my look. It's good motorcycle weather. They're so loud though. I don't know how you don't go deaf. It's also kind of fun to explore the neighborhood when it's not dark out. You can see so much more. It's like a whole new world. It's a nice shed. Hey, live out. This shed's nicer than mine. It's always like a random house. All the houses in this neighborhood are like the same. Actually, they probably are literally like almost exactly the same. But there are occasional that have like a garage, like a one-car garage. Some that have, very few that have a two-car detached one. Most of them are the same, one story, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I think there are some though that have turned the one-car garage into an additional bedroom. So that's what it kind of looks like at the house right there, and on the occasional ones. But this one's got what? It's a nice garage. Single car one. Oh, I'm at the cul-de-sac. Turn around. That's technically a 2-car garage. Alright, we just turn around. There's the dog on the other side. I'm not really scared of dogs, but I try not to stress them out by walking up by them. Plus, you never know if one wants to bite you or something. I ain't trying to experience that, but that I'd get distracted and spend an hour petting it. But you never know. It's best not to stress other people's dogs, even if they look nice. Unless they're super little, I guess. They get more sunshine feeds. It's pretty cold. How many steps are we up to now? We're at 4,000. My power levels are at 4,000. I already have a bunch of beef and rice made, so I'm gonna have that. My weight's been up, so I'm not too worried about pigging out too hard. I had some Cinnamon Toast Crunch before I went to go lift. That's kind of my dessert I bought. The like super large value bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch instead of getting ice cream or something. You guys need a shopping cart? See those in our neighborhood a bit. That's the lower part of the middle class neighborhood I'm in. That's the lower end of it. People do that. But yeah, I got some 93.7 beef, rice, and probably throw some cheese on it. I do have other beef I need to cook as well, since I have it thawed out. I'm gonna start doing that for my lunch too, instead of making sandwiches every day. Just make beef, rice, and cheese. Just have that so I can have a... Oh yeah, here's microwave it. So it's not like it's hard to make or hard to heat up or anything. So the sandwich is fine, but I feel like I eat it in a minute and then I'm hungry. And that at least gives me something to eat for longer. Like when birds don't fly. When bird running away. Come here, bird. Oh, got scared. I'm too fast. Fast as frick, boys. Oh, just a bit of seed on my phone. At least I now know what direction not to walk when it's a holiday. That one street was hopping. A lot quieter than this one. A lot quieter in general. like my quads are getting a pump. Maybe they're getting tired. Lifter's paradox. My muscles getting fatigued, or am I getting a sick pump? I'm gonna try to cross this busy street. Kind of annoying because there's no sidewalk on the other side, not on the side that I want to stay on. But that's actually part of my political platform. Really, 3 things I think everyone can agree with. The first is term limits for House Representatives, Senate as well. Just like the president, 2 times in your out. Oh, that's a cul-de-sac. No outlet. And the second one is gerrymandering is illegal. All voting districts are just the counties of your state. So I live in Hamilton County. That's the voting block. That's how you get a House Representative. That's how they're figured out. None of this, no gerrymandering at all. I think that's a pretty easy one too. And then the other one is universal sidewalks. Everywhere. Nice sidewalks. And if they're crappy, fix them. And if they don't exist, build them. Everywhere. Every single road should have a sidewalk. And with those 3 platforms, I will run for president. Get that done and then dip out. I'll be president for a week. Get those 3 things done, and I guess the sidewalks will take a while. Still 1 term. Put the sidewalk building program in place. Once that's there, then we're done. Should probably check where my phone's at. 28%. That's how much more walking I have. With my wallet, I could walk up to the gas station, but ain't no need to do that. I don't on my phone or my wallet anyway. But an icy sounds nice. Please don't blow me over. I want to die. All right. Makes no conflict. Nobody ran a stop sign. Now we're on a busier street. It's kind of crazy on the video. The lights are flashing. Up for that, I guess y'all probably can't see it now, but the yellow sign that's up there, at least I can't see it that well on my phone. But actually where that big red sign is, that's where we're gonna turn back in. Just not good sidewalks. I mean, this is honestly a really nice sidewalk, but there's not on the other side of the street, which is kind of a little bit more useful. Not really as useful when it's not connected to my neighborhood. Let's see, where are we at? We're at almost 5,000. Heart rate hasn't gone up a lot either, which means I'm not fat. You guys were wondering if I had bad cardio. I could walk for miles and stay at a pretty good pace. I'm at 2.3 miles in 49 minutes, so not super fast. But I'm also not trying to win a race. No, it's actually probably the creek that I showed you earlier that it connects over, trying not to film the car, but it connects over to there. I'm almost positive. Pretty big, nice too. Chicken breast black beans. Hopefully you're seasoning it, because that sounds like not a lot of calories. Unless you're olive oiling it up. Now we can look to see when we can get over. I actually don't mind chicken breast. I usually actually use it. I'll put it in the pressure cooker to get it cooked. Oh, we can just cross. I put it in the pressure cooker, and then once it's done, then I'll just refry it and a little bit of olive oil and stuff. But it's easy. It's easy to make all of it at once, and then to just refry it essentially. I would bake it, but it's too much of a hassle. I don't even bake it. Well, not really. Don't really bake beef anyway, but cool. Favorite female lifter for like Olympic weightlifting? I don't really have one, to be honest. That I would say is like my favorite. I don't know. Not a bad question. No, I don't like really any of the Italians. That Gilia or whatever. I mean, you're supposed to be a high-level weightlifter and able to have anabolics and all that stuff, and you just bomb out all your snatches all the time. Like, she just bombs out and cries. I really don't like any female lifter that cries after a lift, because it's just a lift. It's I get excitement, I get yelling, screaming, all of that, but crying is cringe. Well, yeah, I mean, like, she's fine. I like that Norwegian lifter. She's a unit. And I guess, I forget the American's name. Olivia Reeves. She's just kind of absurdly strong. But I don't know. Like, her lifting's nice, but hard to say a favorite. But Mahala Campbell, yeah, Soul Friend. She's super strong. But also like Coach Mary. She's really strong. And has, like, her snatch, doesn't have the aesthetic to it, but she's just so brutally strong, it's crazy. Lee Wen Wen. but yes, for female lifters, not dudes. At least with American lifters, you can hope that they're on at least less nozzle. But yeah, I don't know, because it's tricky. Because like, what you say, Lee Win-Win's not on steroids? I didn't realize that was a controversial thing to say. She probably has more testosterone in her body than I do. But I don't want to sound transphobic or anything, but oh yeah, I mean, that's like me talking about Lasha. Like, it's incredible to watch him lift, but if I was gonna pick, like, Lasha, as far as the males goes, is probably my favorite lifter, just because he's the best weightlifter. He's lifted weights that nobody has ever done before in any context. Like Carlos, he's really strong, but his lifting, like, it doesn't have that aesthetic, but it's still like amazing how strong he is. Lasha just like has the perfect balance of just being a giant and being super strong and lifting weights that nobody's ever done before. He just got hurt though, and I mean for sure for the clean and jerk, I think he 100%, I mean, he's jerked 270 two different times on video, so who knows how many other times he's done it. But also his snatch is like 195, only 195. It's not even, but it's kind of crazy when you see the progressions of those guys. And now with the internet, you see like Carlos's, you can basically see when he started taking steroids when he was like 13 or 14, which is kind of, you ever seen Icarus, the trainer that's on there that's helping the biker guy Dope, talks about like how all the Eastern Bloc countries start. Yeah, he hurt his leg, something with his leg, but I mean, I'm sure with all the recuperatives that they get, I'm sure he'll recover pretty quickly. Some might say unnaturally fast, but whatchamacallit, with like Carlos, you can see, kind of with Lasha a little bit, but Carlos like had videos when he was like 12 or 13 and 14, and you can see like he had like a 110, 130, then the next year was like 160 or 140. It was absurd. And when you make those kind of jumps, you know, you live in Bulgaria, you don't have morals for being clean, and there's no reason for you not to, then you kind of know what's happening. Yeah, but it's tricky because, like, it's entertaining in a sense to see someone like Carlos or Lasha, but when you realize like how wrong morally it is to give kids drugs, you know, I would say, I don't think it's that objectionable of an opinion, but I would say it's morally objectionable to give teenagers drugs. They're going to alter their bodies forever, and it's not even meant to be a political statement either, although it's probably true on both ends. But when you realize that what it takes physically to get to those weights, in some sense, like, I don't know if there's been several Bulgarian lifters from like the 2000s that just died because of how much drugs they took. So whatever they're given or did at those times, they well, right now there's more people that aren't doping that are trying to compete at a high level. So you get to see, like, I was looking up Olivia Reeves, and I was curious because she just hit those really big lifts in Colorado. I was like, what are the historical numbers and records at her body weight or close to it. And I want to say it was like 76 or something. I think she's 71, but like, so, you know, they're relatively close. But I think for the 70 or 69s or 71, whatever it was back in like 2004 and 8, it was like 128 and 157. But then the class above it was 135 and 165 or 7 or 3, something like that. So like extrapolating her numbers and giving her all of the supplementation support, and you could say she probably is not on any of the snozzle, just because there is historical numbers that are above what she has done in a pretty significant way. And well, I would say, Hills Daniel, that if there's a country that's able to pay bribes, they probably are paying bribes. So like, is Carlos natural? I'm sure technically he's probably never tested positive because they probably don't drug test him. Or if they do, they don't, they just do what Ilya did. You know, you just pay your bribes and you get to play. So I assume that's probably the most common thing that's happening, is that with higher level lifters like that, they're paying to play. I think that's one reason the numbers are jumping back up, is that they've probably streamlined the bribe process to allow that to happen. Or they have streamlined, I doubt this because it wouldn't make them money, but like maybe they told the athletes what things they're testing for or not. Or, you know, everyone found a better drug to take, but I think it's most likely they've just continued to pay bribes. There's no reason for them not to. I think he's only 20. Well, and the thing with Carlos too, it's not like he's the strongest in the world right now. Like, he's getting to numbers that people did when there was no drug testing, or, you know, numbers that people did in the 80s. And like, it's kind of like the same thing with Lasha. And he obviously tested positive too before he came back stronger somehow, miraculously. But when you see that, you know what's happening. It's still amazing because you can pump me full of all of that stuff as well, and I'm not touching those numbers. I think if I grew up in Russia, in the Soviet system, then I think that doing like a 180 and 220 would probably be what I would be able to do. And I don't think that's unrealistic to think, especially if I got to this body weight. But, you know, you were like, oh, you know, anything above that, I don't even know. That's where it takes true talent. So I think you can get someone like me, you know, average, athletic, pretty decent at putting muscle on without anabolics, and, you know, good leverages for lifting up to, you know, like a 180, 220. And, you know, who knows once you're on that stuff, like how well you respond to it, or, you know, how everything works with that, if you can do more. But I think as far as like thinking of like how the systems how I would do in the system, plus like my mentality would do really well in like a Russian system, really any system, but like a Russian one, you're just doing lots of volume and training every day. Like mentally I would do well. So like I already know, like, you know, put me in a doppelganger in the Soviet in the 90s and being born, I wouldn't necessarily be like Dmitry Kolkov, but I'd be one of those guys in the back behind him that you wouldn't have heard of, that's just doing 170 doubles in the snatch for no reason, doing easy 210 clean and jerks for clean front squat and jerks. And who knows how well you respond to that. But I think that's as far as, you know, when you see the guys at the top, you know what's going on. When you know what's going on, it doesn't feel as bad. But it's also important to extrapolate the other way, because, I mean, you can even look at a guy like Wes Kitts, who got popped for advanced stimulant right before the Olympics. You know, if you're dumb enough to do that, maybe he thought that he didn't have to get drug tested all the time. So maybe that was just you know, you're popped for this and you actually were on other stuff too, or whatever. But, and, you know, he only does like a 200 clean jerk, so who knows? Because you could argue that people who are natty have done more. Say like Dragon Wilkes and stuff. They've lifted I think he's done 180, 227 or something, or 230. Yeah, most people at the top feel like super elite. I think that's the other misconception as well, is that you see like the super elite and clearly they're on everything. But then you extrapolate that to anyone that's really strong is automatically on all of that stuff. And it's just objectively obviously not the case. But you never truly know unless it's yourself. But I think people, a lot of strength training, we truly are starting to see, or at least have seen, more and more people that are reaching genetic ceilings, and it's different for every person, and how well they're built and how hard they train and a whole bunch of factors. But if you 25 years ago talked about creatine, people would consider that a performance enhancer, and now it's everyone takes that. And that obviously helps build strength, but I don't know. It's an interesting thought experiment, but for me, at the end of the day, if I took something that I didn't think was true or allowed or fair, unless it was, for like a health condition, if I had to take, a banned supplement because I had a heart condition or something, then I wouldn't say that's cheating. But like, if I took something to enhance my performance that is banned just to enhance my performance, then I know that, for me at least, it wouldn't be morally correct. And not even that it would be morally wrong for others, but for me, like, I want to see what I'm able to do. And if I were to use other stuff, then it's, how much is that other stuff helping or whatever. And obviously you still have to work hard, but I'd rather be one of those 75-year-old dudes that's still doing a snatch and clean jerk. I think that's cool too, versus destroying myself and then probably getting into a sense. So I think that's probably one of the less talked about things, is if you take that stuff and you get super strong, and then when you're older you're off of it, you just have to deal with the fact that you get significantly weaker, and it's kind of hard to cope with that. For me, like, it's probably be a slow burn to lose my strength, but at least that's what I'm hoping. More so when I'm like really old. Almost back to the house. Incredibly walk. Alright, let the children have their conversations. I don't know if you guys can hear the random music that plays when people walk by. Sometimes it's kind of funny. But alright, well, we're at the house, so I'm about to wrap this up and get some videos edited. I'm also basically done with my 2 grad school classes. I have 2, a quiz and a test in one class, and I basically have to turn in an assignment in another one, so that one's basically done. So, it's a long walk. We'll see the final numbers. So, 3 miles, about 7,000 steps by the time I get into the house. So, quite a good distance. I'm curious, what I want hot tea, but I also want a cold beverage. I think what that is telling me is that I'm thirsty. My body wants hydration. So I'm gonna go take care of that. But thanks for hanging out while I walked around the hood. Nobody stole me or kidnapped me. I'm too big to kidnap, though. It's probably the biggest benefit of being 240 pounds is I'm too big to steal. You can try to steal me, it's not gonna work, but thanks for hanging out. Beautiful Sunday. Maybe I'll do more of these. Let me know if you enjoyed going for a walk. I could do more of these.
Probably not on the weekdays when it's dark, because you can't really see anything, and also I'd be tripping on everything too, honestly. Or maybe I can do it on the weekends. Maybe a Sunday walk. That'd be a series while it's nice out. All right, guys, deuces. Happy Sunday, happy Easter.